good, humans? It is Saturday morning here in Melbourne, just heading down to the Frankston bunch ride. Massive ride, a lot of riders, but it's a good ride when they ride safely. I'm wearing arm warmers this morning, but it's actually quite warm. I'm wearing the arm warmers because I'm a bit of a Nancy boy, but tram. But the sun's coming up. It's coming up later and later now, so sort of means we're rolling into winter, obviously, but which always is a bit of a downer. It's like a subtle reminder that shit's going to get real very soon. But yeah, beautiful sunrise, and life's good. I won't be able to talk in about half an hour because this group ride we do, it's hectic. Anyway, got the GoPros on, so we should get some good footage this morning.
Talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping, and it seems while I was sleeping.
When you're running late for the group ride, it's always good to find someone else who's running late for the same ride and just sit on them, especially into a headwind.
And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
We go up over Oliver's Hill. I love talking about this hill because it's a little ripper. It always sort of hurts everybody a little bit, but Oliver's Hill, or the next hilly section, you've got a sharp little climb, and then you've got a sort of flattens off for a little bit, false flat, and then it climbs up to the second little climb, and then a third little climb. So it steps up sort of 3 levels, and I always manage to get dropped on the second or the third level. But you can see here I've got the power, the speed, the heart rate, cadence, and the gradient. And you can see the power across the top. The reason I've got it like that is you can actually look, and it's just a good observation of what sort of power we're putting out at the one time. So we've come into the start of the climb here. You can see the power starting to pop up into the 300, 400, 500 watts mark. And you can see the elevation. Everyone's out of the saddle now. And so we're really starting to push on the pedals. So this is quite a steep little incline, and it narrows up a bit here. It comes off the main highway through a narrow section and then up over some speed bumps. So you've got some obstacles to go over. You can see we've popped up to 600 watts there. So it's quite high wattage here through this section. Up to 800, 900 watts there. And Troy Clark in front of me there, he's obviously, Troy's been on the vlog before. We did an interview recently with Troy, very good bike rider. And you see the faces of the crew behind in the hurt house. Great view though through there, beautiful water in the background. But yeah, there's Robert Tigelow there in the black and yellow kit. He's an ex-Australian, former Australian road champion quite a few years ago in the 90s. We actually catch up with him for a coffee after this ride, so hang around for a bit of a chat with him. But we've come up over the top of this little Oliver's climb, and it sort of flattens out a bit here, but you can see the power was fairly high through the whole thing, and my heart rate's popping up to very close to my max heart rate. And you can see here there's pretty much the group strung out quite a long way. And I'm in the hurt house. I've let the wheel go. You can see that I've let Robert Tigelow's wheel go. And I know there's a few more riders to come through, so I'm just trying to get the heart rate back down a little bit so I can jump on the back of this bunch. I know there's riders coming through, so I'm sort of just trying to get a bit of Larry lactate down. And you can see behind me there's a big gap there, and I knew this was the last guy because I was looking over my right shoulder. And then I sort of jump on his wheel up to 600 watts to sort of get on the wheel there, and you can see there's no one behind me. A few stragglers, but there's quite a big gap there. And so I'm just hanging on the wheel here, just trying to get through this section. And I know that my heart rate's going to come back down. So I know that the worst of it's over. So you just got to hang on. And this is the part about bike riding where you've just got to grit your teeth, you know, especially in bike races. So the young fella there moved up on the left-hand side. He was obviously feeling pretty good. And big gap behind me. And then I've got, that's Dean Johnson from Carnegie Caulfield Cycling Club, CCCC. So, and fortunately, we had some traffic lights here. So, you know what that means, don't you?
And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs. Their voices never share. No one there.
Get a license for those pipes, bro?
So the form must be coming back. It'll be gone soon. I'll start travelling with the boys.
This place looks amazing. Good choice, bro. What do you think about Froomey winning the Herald Sun Tour? Do you think he set out to win it, or you reckon he just decided last minute, or?
I'll tell you something here. The worst thing about that is that we've got a guy who's just won the Tour de France.
Yeah.
He's probably going to win the Tour de France again this year.
Yeah.
And the cycling media forgets about that awesome spectacle, like what all the people are on Arthur's Seat, our backyard.
Yeah.
1 metre from the Tour de France champion.
Yeah.
And all the Herald Sun and cycling tips and cycling news, all they want to do is talk about this fight that happened between 2nd place and 70th place. Who cares? Talk about Chris Froome. He's going to be, this is the next big thing.
Yeah.
He's here in Australia. He wanted to come to the Sun Tour.
Yeah.
And they turn it to a negative thing. Typical cycling.
Yeah,
Typical cycling.
It's a shame,
Let's talk about doping too. That's what they do.
True.
Anytime something good starts happening.
People love drama, don't they?
Yeah.
So what do you think of the level of rider compared to your era today? Do you think it's a good level? Or is it better?
I think it's just even. It's very difficult to compare eras.
So just caught up with Tiggers and Tommy Nankervis. Tiggers is a ex-national Australian road champion. He was racing back in the day when there was a lot of amazing talent in Australia. So there was a lot of funny stories there when I didn't have the camera turned on, and I could imagine Tiggers would be a great interview. So I'm going to try and catch up with him at some stage, do a bit of an interview with him, and just have a chat over a coffee and see if we can drag some of the old school stories out. Yeah, I reckon it'd be pretty entertaining. One of the boys was telling me that Tiggers and Hilton Clark, which is Troy Clark's brother. You've seen Troy in one of my previous videos, but yeah, apparently Hilton Clark and Tiggers used to rock up to every race, and they used to get 1st and 2nd in every race for like 2 or 3 years or thereabouts. And so the club started paying down to 5th and 6th place just to get motivation back into the cyclists, which is pretty funny. But there was a lot of good banter going around the table, which unfortunately, as soon as you turn the camera on, people get a bit camera shy. So we'll hopefully we drag a few of those funny old stories out. But I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm just getting home now, 100 kilometers in the bank, so I'm starting to get back on, starting to feel good again. But I might have a little sleep and then do some editing. So I'm just going to meet up with a mate of mine, Toppy. I haven't had a few beers. I haven't had beers since the tour down under. But Graham's leaving Melbourne. He's going to Queensland to live. So I'm going to have a couple of beers this afternoon. These sunglasses don't look too bad on their own, but in a cycling setting, something's not quite right. Riding the bike to beers with mates on days like today just doesn't get any better, man. You wouldn't drive. You just wouldn't drive. It's such a nice day. Right, this is it. Moondog. It's a pizza joint there. There's the wheels. There he is. Legend. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, fella.
Just chatting with Malcolm. He's an air traffic controller, which to me is probably the coolest job in the world.
I know it's a good job because Toppy's very jealous of my job.
I know. I'm jealous of your job.
How many hours do you work?
All those people's lives in your hands, you know? Like, it's just like, ah.
That's what he was saying before, is how do you stay focused on top of it? And there's people.
Yeah. And you know what, as someone who has flown, I often think about the air traffic controllers and I think, you fuckers better be switched on, you better not be playing your computer games or shit. So you fly the simulators and stuff?
Yeah, it's an air traffic control simulator, so you make up little games with airplanes flying where they have to back against each other, so yeah, it's good fun.
What a cool job, man.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
So what'd you do today?
184 Ks.
184?
Yep, training for Peaks Challenge on the weekend. Rode from Melbourne to Yarraglan, Healesville, up Myers Creek, Toolangi, King Lake, Whittlesea, King Lake, back home, and back.
That is unbelievable. Cheers to that. What are you training for?
I've got the Turriby Skips Land in 2 weeks, and then Peaks Challenge mid-March.
Okay. I'm not drunk, am I?
Not much.